What is going on, everyone, and welcome to r/am I the butthole. This is an amazing subreddit where people post their stories on Reddit of things that have happened to them and they're not quite sure whether they were or were not guilty in a certain event, and the people of Reddit, they decide, and we decide. We comment down below and we decide, are these people buttholes or are they actually okay? In today's first story, as you can tell by the title, this person shaves their dog. Now, I'm not going to disclose why they did this, they just did. So let's find out, are they the butthole or are they not? Am I the butthole for shaving my dog to keep my autistic nephew from bothering him? I, a 27-year-old female, got a dog, Pam, shortly before moving in with my 32-year-old boyfriend. Pam is a Pomeranian and very fluffy. At the time, my sister, Sabrina, my brother-in-law, Merlin, and my nephew, Salem, who is 10, were staying. Now, just to add, Salem has autism. This led to what I call hell, and led to me moving out much quicker than I planned. I literally called my boyfriend in tears, asking him to let me move in quicker. He was there the next day with his dad and their truck to get me out of the house. Why? Because my sister started using Pam as a reward/punishment for Salem. If he didn't behave, he wasn't allowed to touch or pet Pam. If he was good, then my sister would say he could play with her. This meant my sister would pound on my door and demand to let her borrow Pam. If I said no, then my mum would get involved and say I was being selfish. Then Salem would start having a meltdown, and no matter what I did, I was the one being blamed. Even when I moved, my sister would call me, saying she was at the house or back gate, let her in. She would go into the backyard when I was not there. I put a lock on the gates with my boyfriend's blessing after I came home to my sister walking my dog on a leash down the road. She had left the gate open and almost let out my boyfriend's 2 dogs. This led to an argument where I told her that Salem and her were not allowed where I live, and if she touched my dog again, she would be talking to the police. Of course, this led to Salem throwing a fit, and I felt like a butthole. This kid doesn't freaking know. So, I talked to my boyfriend, who suggested we talk to the actual police, something I am not comfortable doing, or we figure out a way to make my nephew dislike Pam. Now, this led him to drunkenly suggest that we shave Pam. He does his dog's grooming, so he has shavers. He ended up shaving her the next morning into a teddy bear cut. And it worked. When Salem showed up to see Pam, he didn't believe it was the same dog, and had a meltdown again. My sister asked why I shaved the dog. I said that she got into something. My sister said to call her when the fur grew back, and told Salem that Pam was at school. I told my sister that Pam was going to stay shaved. Now, I am being called a monster and a butthole for doing this to a 10-year-old boy. I'm just tired, though, of having my sister show up with her badly behaved child, take my dog, etc. So, am I the butthole? Now, guys, this is where it's imperative that you get down in the comments below and let me know your thoughts before I give mine. Let me know, who do you think was the butthole in this story? Was it OP? Was it OP's sister? Was it the kid? Was it even the dog? Anything is on the table, guys. Let me know down below what you think. For me personally, I think the answer is pretty clear. I mean, it is a shame that you had to go to the length of shaving your dog. I doubt your dog enjoyed getting shaved, but it was the only way because your sister is unable to deal with her child and her child's demands. Like, it's obviously not the kid's fault that he's got autism. His mum, your sister, should now be able to, somewhat deal with that and understand what autism means and what it can, what it can show itself as, Therefore, she shouldn't be using your dog as a toy or like a distraction or a reward system for her son just because he's autistic. Find something better. Find something less intrusive. Find something that's not an animal, first of all. That would be my immediate idea. And then find something that's not someone else's animal as well on top of that, because that's even worse. Yeah, I blame the mum wholly for this one. OP, yeah, you had to shave your dog, but you did the right thing. And to be fair, your dog is probably maybe even happier because now, they're not being used as a toy and not getting attacked by a mum and a kid every 10 seconds, Great stuff. Now moving on to our next post. Am I the butthole for telling my entire family to leave when they berated me for paying for my friend's son's surgery? I, a 37-year-old male, had experienced 2 losses in a short period of time. I lost both my daughters, bio 9, adopted 14, both suffered from chronic conditions. I was a single dad dealing with so much. Soon as my oldest passed away, my youngest got sick in the same year. I had no time to grieve. I found myself driving to the hospital again, talking to doctors again. It was a difficult time. My youngest passed away a year later in 2018. My family then started talking about how I needed to move on. My brother told me that I can rest now, that I'm no longer spending time with doctors and worrying about my daughters and their issues. That hurt me, even if he was trying to comfort me. My mum wanted me to get another chance to have kids, but I ignored her. My dad suggested that I move out of my house, but I told him I was comfortable enough to sleep at my house since he thought I should run from memories. I'd spent most of the time by myself. I met a parent just like me in group therapy and we began talking. He's a struggling dad with a sick child. I met his son Adam and he's such a sweet soul. They both began visiting me. Adam reminded me of my daughters. He is 16, he's smart and empathetic. He's a good cook for his age. He cooked for us a lot and he brought books and would help care for my plants. He's at the hospital now. His dad and I spoke about the surgery he needed, their need for money. I decided to help out by using my youngest daughter's emergency fund to pay for Adam's surgery. This gift is from my daughters to Adam. He could not believe it and started crying because they've been struggling to come up with the money for months and it's also affected his education. He actually stopped going to school for a year. I received a card from Adam. It's heartwarming. I haven't told my family, but when they visited me, my brother brought up that he needed money to renovate his house and how he has no money. Mum brought up my youngest daughter's emergency fund and asked me if I could help. I told them that I've already given the money to a close friend and paid for his son's surgery. They just stared at me. Then my mum and brother started yelling at me for doing that I was out of my mind to give away the money that was supposed to go to family who's struggling. They brought up how supportive they've been and that I was ungrateful. My brother called me a butthole for handing people you barely know money and not my own family. I told them to drop it or leave. But they kept berating me, and I yelled back at them and told them to just leave my house. My dad called the same night, saying I was out of line for treating them like that, and that their reaction was understandable. He said I upset my family, and doubled down by kicking them out. He wants to talk, but I know him. He has a short temper, and will demand I take the money back. Yeah, no doubt in my mind here that OP is absolutely done the right thing. I mean, you just have to think about, in that situation, what would your daughters have wanted? Would they have wanted the money to go to family who they clearly dislike and who are clearly selfish and would use it for, you know, let's be honest, stuff that is not essential? Like renovating a house, it's not the most important thing in the world, is it? Or would they have liked the money to go to someone who was in a very similar position to them, a very similar person to them, kind, empathetic, loving, a cook at 16, that's pretty incredible. Someone that is really struggling with life, like seriously, you know, they're gonna die if they don't get this surgery. It's a pretty obvious decision when I say it out like that, but yeah, it's clear that your daughters, obviously OP, would have wanted the money to go to someone like them. I mean, talking completely legally as well, the money is yours. It's your daughter's emergency fund, but I mean, it's probably in your name as well, right? I don't know how emergency funds necessarily work, but you're the one that's been putting money into it. Therefore, it's your money when your daughters have sadly passed away. You can do what you want, so obviously don't get pressured into giving it to your family who you don't even like. Give it to someone who deserves it, man. Adam is an absolute legend, and obviously he needs the money more than anyone. Yes, what a great decision to give it to him, and not your selfish family. Now moving on to our final post. Am I the butthole for telling my mum I'm moving back in with my dad for good? My parents got divorced in 2018, and are both remarried now. My dad's wife is pretty chill. She's really young and we get along well. She can't have kids, she and my dad travel, she's super cool and I like her. My mum's husband is sort of strict and he's really into his kid. He's supposedly mildly autistic, he knows better than to do what he's doing, he's 17 and he goes to an Ivy for university. Oh okay, this is the son. Right, sorry, I thought this was the husband for a second. Quite young for a husband, 17. Anyway, he's the main reason why I'm moving out of my mum's. My mum's husband's son has made me into what I guess I would call his special person. He's constantly following me, doesn't give me any privacy, has absolute meltdowns when I try to leave the house or go out with my friends, slams on the door and screams when I'm in the bathroom or when I lock my door. My stepdad actually took my door down because I locked it to get away from his son, and my mum was silent and didn't defend me because I've realised that I'm only living with her because I take the heat off of her, and I'm suffering because she doesn't want to deal with him. Jesus, that sounds horrible. This is not the way I want to live my life. I feel like a prisoner, and I constantly am walking on eggshells. I didn't sign up for this, and I'm not interested in being the primary caretaker of some man's nearly adult child who he won't take care of or discipline. His son manipulates people into giving in because they don't want to argue or fight, and he pretends to not understand, but he's going to advanced psychology classes at an Ivy League. He has to know what he's doing and how he's making me feel, because I've looked in books and read them, and I'm autistic, and I've explained in ways that make sense to me, but he doesn't care about what he's done to me. Anyway, a few days before Christmas, I told my mum that I wouldn't be coming back to her place in the new year. And she got heated and yelled at me and told me that I didn't have a choice. She turned on the waterworks and my stepdad called me a selfish female dog. And she had a complete meltdown where he had to get her water because she was crying. I simply told her that I turned 18 on the 1st of the 2nd, 2021. And that if she wants to go to court, I'll see her there. She's been texting me now and blowing up my phone, asking me to come back, but I just sent her that Chris Evans, "No, I don't think I will" meme, and I feel like an avoidant POS. So, guys, am I the butthole? In my opinion, I think we've got a full house of not buttholes in today's video, guys. I mean, pretty great stuff. No, I don't think you're the butthole at all. If you don't enjoy living at your house, then move out. Simple as that, right? I don't think I can add any more to that, really. You're going to be 18 soon, so therefore legally you can do what you want. It's just that, you know, intermittent period right now before 2021 or whenever your birthday was in February or January, I can't remember, where you kind of have to be a little bit careful because I don't know how it all legally works. I would just say, you know, yeah, move out. If they do go to court, then say, okay, fine, I'll come back and live with you. But it's only going to be for 2 months maximum because then I'm 18 and I can do what I want. I don't exactly know how the laws work. So please, you know, educate me in the comments down below if I'm completely wrong there. I think the age is 18, but you know, I could be wrong. Anyway, yeah, 2 months to go and you're free. That's how I'd see it. Also, I completely forgot for a second to talk about the other kid. I mean, he's giving you no privacy, constantly following you, slamming on your door. His dad is getting your door taken down because you lock it. I mean, yes, get out of that house as quickly as you can. The more I think about it, the more you like just sack off the 18. Who cares how old you are? Just get out, run away, move to another country. I mean, moving with me. That's always an option for you. Yeah, get out. Seriously, get out of there. Anyway, guys, that is going to do it for this episode of r/am I the butthole? Yes, you are. To answer the question. If you want more right away, then check out this playlist of all my Am I the Butthole videos. There are some absolute crackers in that, and if you're bored and you know you just want to chill out, maybe you do something else, playing a game, or listen to something in the background, chuck this on. You know, it's great stuff. Also, if you are new around here, please make sure you are subscribed. We are now close to hitting 600,000 subscribers. Hit this button up here. It's lovely, and when you touch it, it makes a lovely noise. I've heard. So yeah, there's that. Anyway, guys, I'll see you later on today with a brand new upload.